Hi everyone, it's Heidi from Flutter by Heidi. I'm Heidi Smith. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator based in the United Kingdom, and today we're talking Celebration Saturday. So Celebration is when we get free stuff for buying our craft supplies, which is great fun, and this is one of the stamp sets that you can get for free if you spend £45. With me as your demonstrator. The other item you can get, so lovely stamp set, 3 donkeys, little sentiments, hee-haw, little asterisks, little sort of stars, great fun. The paper is another item that you could choose if the donkeys aren't your thing, and this is lovely paper because on the one side you've got these kind of bubble designs, and you've got those in all the different colours, so Blackberry Bliss, Granny Apple Green. The other design is this lovely ombre, so again Blackberry Bliss with Granny Apple Green, or Rococo Rose with Bermuda Bay. And there we go, Rococo Rose and Bermuda Bay. So those are absolutely beautiful, really pretty. So you've got 4 different colours, and you've got the 2 sort of designs, the bubbles and the ombre papers, but they're really useful because obviously you can stamp on them. So that's the other item that you could use instead. Obviously what I've used here are the in colours. Now the lovely thing about these darling donkeys is that they do work really well with lots of different colouring techniques. So I just thought I'd share with you some of the ones I have done. So we have got cinnamon cider here. We have got, this one is crumb cake, light and dark. We have got smoky slate, light and dark. We have got grey granite, which I think is lovely because it's that lovely browny kind of grey that donkeys are. And then finally we've got soft suede, so he's the really dark one. So you can see we've got a whole range of donkeys. So I'm going to do the cinnamon cider one today, just because I think he's great fun. And then, like I say, I'm not using the Celebration paper at all, but I wanted to share that with you because it's great. I'm using the in colour DSP instead. And I thought I'd have a bit of a change as well from using basic white. That's the new name for it, Whisper White currently. So I thought I'd go for our lovely bumblebee. And then we'll use the cinnamon cider and the Just Jade as well, but go for the kind of wood texture as well. And then go for our other items that we need. So to start off with then, card base, I'm going to work in centimetres, but very easy, 8 1/4 inches, 21 centimetres, scored at 10.5, 4 1/8 inches, and it's 14.5 or 5 3/4. Obviously you might be slightly different if you're in the US, but it's a standard 10-fold card. So that's our card base. And then we need to cut ourselves some pieces of DSP. And again, really nice, easy ones, these. So if I move my darling donkeys out of the way. Okay. So I'm going to have my centre panel is going to be my central one. And the centre one is 5 centimetres or 2 inches in width. And then it is just 8.5 or 3.5 inches. So 8.5 is slightly shorter. So you could go for kind of 8.8, but basically 3.5 inches on there. So that's our central panel. And then our 2 side panels are 4 centimetres in width, 1.5 inches by 2 3/4 inches. So which is 7 centimetres. Make sure, yeah, there we go. So really easy. This is a great card for that comes together really quickly as well, because the only thing you need are a few scraps of your of Whisper White. Now, what I would recommend in terms of placement of this is that you get the placement about right first. So what I do is kind of line those up where I want them, so they're round about even, and keeping those ones in place, I'm just going to very quickly use my Stampin' Seal Now you might find it easier to use a bit of liquid glue for this. Basically just place that in place, and once you've got one in place, then it's really easy to come in and line up your second piece. And you know, obviously it doesn't have to be exact. I've kind of made mine even, but obviously you could stagger these slightly to change them up. You could use a ruler to line that up as well. So there we go, there's our basic card. Now on the inside, I think it's a bit of fun to have our donkeys on the inside too. You could add a layer of Whisper White if you wanted to, or you could just stamp a little extra donkey on the inside. I'm using Memento ink because I'm going to be colouring using blends. So I've used Memento. There's my basic card done. So now what I want to do is come in with some Whisper White card and stamp my get my teeth in, get words out. I'm going to stamp my donkey. So just a piece of this is Whisper White. Now it is changing. It's going to be basic white in future. Really sad, but one of the companies unfortunately was a victim of COVID, so we've had to find, Stampin Up have found a new supplier, so it'll be called basic white. And all you do, you stamp your little donkey like so on our Whisper White, and then I'm using the 2 1/4 inch punch. You can use the 2-inch punch, but it just crops it slightly, and I just wanted my little donkey to be kicking his heels quite happily. So there's my donkey. I'm obviously going to use this as well for my sentiment in a minute, my scraps for that as well. And if I can find my little one that's been done on the 2-inch punch, you'll see what I mean by cropping it. It's just not quite big enough. So I'm then coming with my cinnamon cider and my colour lifter. So the first one I'm going to use is the dark cinnamon cider, and I'm going to come around the edges. And this obviously is the darkest colour. And those bits that are in the shadows, I'm going to leave them a bit of a white belly. But it's around the muzzle. And I just start off at the base of the ears with this darker colour as well. So just come in there. Then I'm just going to come down to kind of that darker sort of cross that they have. So the bullet tip is great for detail here. And that back leg's going to be in darkness as well. I'm then going to come in with the brush tip of my lighter one and just come over that. And you'll see at first you can still see the line where I did that original colouring. So I'm just going to keep going, and as you add more out of the alcohol marker, you'll see that line disappears. And you can always come in and add a bit more colour if you want to, sort of the darker one. Oh, I've left his belly a little bit. I've come down a little bit too far on, or a little bit further than I would have done on that. Now what I didn't do is add any colour to his muzzle. Okay, and I'm just going to come in . A little bit. See, this sort of happens when this always happens in class. You get people colouring and it all goes quiet. I certainly do. I have to concentrate with colouring. I'm not the best in the world, but I do find it rather therapeutic, and it is good fun. And then all I'm going to do is just add a little bit to kind of ground the image. So because although he's kicking his heels, you want him to be not just jumping in the air. And then I'm just going to blend that tummy so it's a little bit lighter, and the same on the muzzle, so you kind of get that hint of colour, and then a little bit around the face just to lighten. So there we go. So there's our little chap. Now because we haven't got a 2.5 inch punch anymore, to get that edge on it, all I'm going to do is grate with a circle. Once it's dry, I just roll it around the edge until you'll see I get a nice bit of colour on the back there. Now I want to come in and do my bit of stamping, so pop that to one side. And what I want to do is I want to do my hee-haw, my It's Your Birthday, and here we go, my hee-haw, which I've still got covered in ink from my project I was doing a second ago. So now we're clean, and just come in and ink up It's Your Birthday on bottom there, and the same with the hee-haw. I would usually use a scrap, but I didn't have those to hand. And come in with your classic label punch. This is that lovely one that's perfect. Itty Bitty Greetings. So I'm going to put the It's Your Birthday towards the far end of that, and the hee-haw to the kind of more extreme left, like so. And then just out of a scrap I'm just going to punch 2 in cinnamon cider. So that then creates our little banner. Put the glue on the wrong bit, hide. Right, put your glue on the back of the Whisper White pieces, because those are the ones you're going to be gluing, and just stick those straight on to the top. So I'm just covering over the glued up bit of that. And then, because we don't need it to be as long, I'm just snipping just a little bit off the end there. Okay, so now we've got our pieces all together. I'm going to pop my ink away before I drop something, probably the card, into it. And then I open out the card so that it's nice and flat. Grab yourself some dimensionals and grab your colour lifter, because what I've actually done is I've put some nice inky finger marks, which is okay, because what I was going to do anyway was just blend that out with the colour lifter slightly to kind of give it a little bit more grounding. She says, honestly, opportunity for embellishment. Although I haven't used any embellishments on this, I probably ought to find my in colour little enamel dots, actually. Those would work really well. I wonder if I've got those in that packet. No, I think these are my retired... Oh no, look at that. Look at that. Perfecto. So as well as my retired little enamel dots, always good for a bit of colour, I've got my lovely in colour enamel dots as well. So we can add, and you'll see, you know, it's really sort of comes together very quickly. So pop our donkey in the centre. Then on the It's Your Birthday, these are ones where the mini dimensionals come into their own, really, because you can just pop a couple of those on the back there, and they're just the perfect size to go behind that. I've added 2 just because I don't want it to just to flop about too much. So pop our hee-haw on the one side. They're like little finger posts that you might get in the past. And then It's Your Birthday on the side here. And if I had my take your pick, I can grab it here. Oh, might be a bit, need to squeeze a little bit of the putty out. So just tighten it and then release to get your putty. And then let's go for, I think we go for the cinnamon cider. So we can just add of those. And if you that is if you don't stick it to your grid paper, and on the other side. And there we have our fun celebration donkey ready to go. So as you can see, coloured card base add a couple of dimensionals. I need to ground my little donkey over here. What I haven't done is done the head. So all I've done on this one is just cut out the head, a second head, and added that on the front to add a little bit of dimension as well, to give you a bit more fun. Or you could put it on a little wobble spring maybe. Who knows? All good fun. Hopefully you'll enjoy making it too. The in colours are great to work with, but you don't have to stick to those. You could use all sorts. Thanks for watching. Come back and see me again soon, and if you'd like to purchase any of the products you've seen, you'll find links in the description bar below this video or on my blog at flutterbyheidi.co.uk. Thanks for watching. Bye.